Yo, 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 yo. Salute, Nick Nation. All the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Knicks fans across the world. Welcome to the Pod Couple. Tonight's show is maybe a little somber for some, but we have to keep rolling with these punches that these New York Knicks keep giving us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do what we do up here on the Pod Couple. And again, thank you for coming through and hope you enjoy the show.
G-Man, what's good?
Well, Uncle Freezy, what's good, my brethren?
Ain't nothing to it. Ain't nothing. Chilling out, man. Glad to see you.
It's good
How
to
you
be seen,
doing?
brother.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Um, I guess to get started, we can start with where is it? I had something queued up for us and now I can't find it. I had something queued up for us, and now I can't find it, man. Jeez, that's
Well,
always.
while you looking for that, let me go ahead and do a public service announcement. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, okay, there
Oh,
we
my
go.
bad.
You good? As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Cornerstone is absent today. He has some stuff going on. Our thoughts and prayers are always with the family when they're going through some things. So we wish Kev the best in his endeavors, wherever he is and whatever he's doing, for sure.
All right. All right. So let's start with Pod Couple News. G-Man, any breaking news on the New York Knicks front?
No, just more of the same. Everything that I've encountered in the last 24 hours has been a lot of regurgitation of what we saw last night in the basketball game, and of course you have the forever present trade rumors that's out there that we're not going to get away from that until after the trade deadline. So it's all about as I hate to say, business as usual for the Knicks. But I think this may not be news, but something worth giving credence to would be holding individuals accountable for actions. And how does that look in the big picture of things, and how does that affect the team long term?
Okay. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. You want to elaborate on that some?
Well, I have one person in particular that I'm really concerned about, and that's one Mr. Kemba Walker. Concerned to the fact that regardless of the outcome of the performance that we've seen in consecutive nights of basketball, we continue to trot him out in the same role like he was producing out on either side of the ball. Whether you're doing good on offense, as Evan Fournier has found his stride, or if by osmosis something happens and you're actually able to play defense. And not saying that Kimba is not accountable to himself, but the big picture is you have to be teammates should be able to pick him up, prop him up, and everybody should be in the mind frame to say, well, okay, G-Man ain't got it tonight, Uncle Freezy, you take it. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to have that level of communication. And I think without that, I think they had that last year. This year, not so much. But Kemba Walker in particular, because everyone was up in arms when Tibbs took him out of the rotation.
Right.
And then by force of injuries, we had to bring him back.
Right.
Now he's regressed back to what he was early on, to where you get the inconsistent play. You're not scoring any points on the offensive end of the floor, and we all know what his defense looks like. So
Right.
I'm interested in watching that as we move forward, and then how do we adjust, or if we even adjust to what's going on
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So I don't have anything um, to say about that. I don't have anything to add in terms of the accountability deal.
What's on your mind, Freezy? What's on your mind? Let's get to it, brother.
How about we start with Knicks trivia?
Okay.
Right? We'll start with Knicks trivia. I think I had one up here, but I don't think I did the slide for it, to be honest. Okay. So Knicks trivia. So Knicks fans, in 2022, the Knicks have abundance of draft picks. But here is my Knicks trivia question to you. 30 years ago, who was the New York Knicks first round draft pick?
Ooh, 30 years ago. So you're going to make me do math now.
Yep. 30 years ago, who was the New York Knicks first round draft pick? And we'll give you time to get to that.
Okay. I appreciate that. Because, I'm an old man, so my mind don't work as fast as it used to do, Freezy.
Right. Who was the New York Knicks first round draft pick in 1992? And I'll download this, and then that way we can have it to put on the screen later. Right. Any clues to that?
I would say in 92. 92.
That was around the emergence of John Starks, Ron Strickland.
I gotta remember where I was in 92. Of course, I was in the military. I was either in Korea. I think, if memory serves, we went and got a guard.
Okay.
I believe. In 92. I believe. I'm gonna have to think on that one for a minute, brother.
All right. While you do that, I'm gonna do this.
Hi. My name is the Ghetto Intellect. I am a co-star of the Knicks Freestyle on the Blorange Tears network. Please come check us out. You'll see me and Free Keith and Freezy, Uncle Freezy, interacting with one another, bringing you hot topics, our amazing takes, but more importantly, smash that like button, subscribe to the Blorange Tears network, and more importantly, share all across your social media networks. Don't miss us. We'll check in with you next time. Bye.
Bim. There it is. All right. Okay. So we will move on. Then now that you have the Knicks trivia question, we talked about the pod couple news. Let's talk about something or nothing.
Oh, this is my favorite segment right here, boy.
So February 3rd, Julius Randle is available for trade. Is this something or nothing?
I would say it's something, Freezy, and this is why it's something. Just for the mere fact of all the scuttlebutt that's been surrounding our the number one player on our team right now, whether the team admits it or not, I believe that those backroom conversations have been had, and part of that conversation was, well, let's wait till the third and see what's really going on, and if you're serious about making any kind of moves with this said specific player, because that's literally the day that he's available to be traded. So, prior to that, I would show interest, but let's wait until he's absolutely available to be traded before we make any concrete decisions or make any real type offers. So I definitely believe that it is something. And some pocket may not be mainstream media. It may be one of those things that's whispered about in the back room so as to not upset folk or whatever the case may be, but it's definitely something.
Okay, excellent. I think it's much ado about nothing at this point, because I don't think the Knicks have a clear direction. And so they don't know if they want to rebuild or make a championship push. And I think by trading Julius Randle, all it does is muddy the waters, so to speak, in that conversation. That's my piece on it.
I would agree from the standpoint that although we don't have a direction, but what the Knicks have shown me is that I don't like to call them knee-jerk reactions, but right. Some of the moves that have been made don't align with what we believe that what we should be doing. But to your point, if there's no direction, who's to say that the moves that they're making aren't in line with what they're thinking? We don't know. We just know it's not working right now.
Right. And so why would you make a Julius Randle trade when you don't really have a clear direction?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Okay. So we'll move on. During the loss to the Memphis Grizzlies, several New York Knicks were seen giggling and laughing during bad Knicks miscues. Is this something or nothing?
That's a whole lot to do about nothing. A whole lot to do about nothing. And I say that because people handle stressful situations in a different manner, right? Just because we're upset, that the laughter could be one of those things that you're not really laughing about the instance when you see me laughing. You're laughing because I know because of that play I just made, I'm about to go over here and get my ear chewed off by the head coach for about 20 minutes.
Right.
So I got to laugh that off before I go encounter that thing, right? Or if you're going into a press conference and you all smiles, I mean, what you want them to do? Hold their head down, come in with black roses, dressed in black, all mummified because we lost? Come on, man. These are human beings. People react to different things. So all that's a whole lot to do about nothing right there. Because people are not reacting like you expect them to react, that's a whole lot to do about nothing, Freeze.
Right. Okay. Excellent. I agree. I agree with you. There have been rumors, such as what was suggested on the Bill Simmons podcast, that the Knicks may trade for Russell Westbrook. Is this something or nothing?
To your point about the whole the question about Randle being available for trade, that's a whole lot to do about nothing. I don't put a lot of stock in any trade that people are broadcasting saying that the Knicks are going out to get this person or that person. How many moves have we made with this front office that has been publicized? How many moves has this front office made to where they said, okay, I'm interested in Uncle Freezy. I'm talking to the organization, and this is what we're thinking about doing. And they actually go make a move. The Derrick Rose trade, nobody saw that coming. Right. Nobody definitely saw this Cam Reddish trade coming.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot to do about nothing. A whole bunch of hoopla for somebody to get clicks on their website or sell. Well, I don't even know if people buy newspapers anymore, but same scenario there. It's a whole lot to do about nothing.
Okay. So, well, the last one. Recently, Tom Thibodeau has been criticized about rotations, minutes, and in-game strategy. Is this something or nothing?
Okay, give me that one more time, Freezy, because I'm gonna have to frame this because I don't want to sound like the angry Knick fan that just mad at Tibbs. Give that to me one more time because I want to keep this in context.
Recently, Tom Thibodeau has been criticized about the way he handles the starters, meaning not changing them, the rotation, and minutes for certain players, including in-game strategy. Is this something or nothing?
I don't believe I'm saying this, and this is why I say I need to be able to contextualize what I'm about to say. This right here is a whole lot to do about nothing, because I'm going to tell you why. If it was something, then there would be someone from on high coming down forcing a change in this behavior. But because we can consistently see the same thing happen night in and night out, that's Knicks fans like me, I'm going to complain. And I would be the first one to stand up and say, I've been an advocate of complaining about exactly what you just said. But it's a whole lot to do about nothing. I'm just blowing off steam because nothing G-Man says is going to change the way Thibodeau coaches this basketball team. And as it's present right now, relevant or not, there's no one coming from on high to say, Tibbs, change this, change that, do this, do that. That's not happening. So what we're talking about right here is a whole bunch of nothing.
Okay. So I do think there's something there.
Okay.
Right. But like we used to like to say back in the day, there's levels to this.
Yes.
Facts. Right. So I think there is something to it. And I think but I think the degree to which there is something is small. I think Tibbs can't adjust the starting lineup because he don't have starters that could come in and play full time. Starters on the bench that can come into the starting lineup and help the starting lineup right away fix the issues that the starters were having. Okay. You feel me?
I got you.
So say for instance, sending Julius Randle to the bench and bringing in Obi Toppin does not immediately make the Knicks into a power in the East.
Right. I agree.
You know what I mean? So I think that the issue is poor point guard play.
Yep.
And I don't see a starting point guard on a Knicks bench, and neither does Tom Thibodeau.
I agree.
All right, so let me do this real quick. I'm just going to refresh. With this. Where is it? Knicks trivia.
First round.
All right, you ready to take a guess?
I want to say, and because I am kind of confident in that doggone in my little banner that I got hanging back there, I'm gonna say that the first round draft pick came out of the University of North Carolina, and I'm gonna guess it was one Mr. Hubert Davis.
Okay, so Hubert Davis is officially your guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking Charlie Ward, right? That's what I'm thinking, just off the top of my head. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll move along, and then we'll offer an answer and see what the chat thinks also.
All right.
In about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Right. All right. Cornerstone Kev, we miss you, bro. Cornerstone Kev is probably somewhere with an extra order of fries.
And a new shirt.
And a new shirt. His kids' meal came with a toy. And then he hit G-Man, was like, yo, I can't make it today. I got a toy in my kids' meal.
For sure. And I don't want to share.
Yeah, shout out to Cornerstone Kev. You know, we just
my man's in there, for sure.
All right. Here we go. Okay. So wanted to talk with you briefly about the possibilities the Knicks have at their disposal at the trade deadline. Right? Okay. And we can speculate all we want.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But I think we have to figure out what direction the Knicks front office is headed in.
Realistically, not pie in the sky, but something that's real, that's attainable.
Yeah. Do you have an idea on where the Knicks front office is headed?
To be honest with you, I don't. I could tell you what I would like to see them do, but I don't think at this point that the Knicks front office has proven to be very unpredictable. They're not forthcoming in sharing any type of clues about what they're thinking. So, they leave it to fans and the media to kind of latch on to whenever someone says, whenever they need to, again, get clicks on their websites or whatever the case may be, they'll float a name. And the only thing they will say is such and such person has interest, or the New York Knicks has interest in G-Man's life. and then just let it go. That's all they got to say. They just let it go, and we do the rest. So at this point, I don't know what is out there for us, realistically speaking. And it's not only, what can we go get, but more so, who wants to come here?
Right.
So it's one thing for you to go out there and say, okay, I'm in the back room doing all my mad scientist moves and deals, and I'm trying to go get Uncle Freezy, right? I'm willing to give up the kitchen sink to go get Freezy because I know he can come in here and be impactful day one. But Uncle Freezy already told his agent, ain't no way in the world.
No, I ain't going to play them.
I'm not going to play the Knicks. Have you seen how they're treating the people that's up there? Have you seen how them fans crucifying Julius Randle right now? Have you seen that? I don't want that for me and my family. I'm not going there. So all these moves that I made in the back office to get you here, you don't want to come. And we've seen how NBA players act out when they don't want to be someplace, bro. They gain weight. They got phantom injuries coming on. Now all of a sudden I'm allergic to all the CO2 that's in the air in New York because all the cars is driving around. I mean, they come up with some crazy stuff for you.
Right.
So I think it's a mix of going to find someone, and let me be clear when I say this. Absolutely, positively, crystal clear. The New York Knicks not going out and bringing no superstar here, bro. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to happen.
Not in one fell swoop. Not no one fell swoop move.
No. Not this trade deadline. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So what we're actually looking for is a mid-tier type player that can come in and facilitate whatever they decide the direction of this team is going to be. That's the best we can hope for at this point. Okay. I mean, I just don't see us going out making any monumental moves. And I'm gonna stand pat with the same outlook that I had last season, where I say that I don't really see us making a move. To be honest, I think that Cam Reddish move was our move. That's just what I believe. That we are good for at least one move a year. We went out and got Derrick Rose, and that turned out to be that move, right? I think Cam Reddish is going to be that move for this year. And then we kind of play this thing out and try to figure it out as we go.
Right. Shout out to the chat. We see y'all. And so what I would say, G-Man, is this. I think the Knicks are going to try to make a move. And I think it's going to be a pacifier. You remember how your baby used to cry? Yeah. And you didn't know what was wrong with the baby. The baby didn't know how to tell you what was wrong. So you stuck one of them pacifiers in your mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That is what I think they're going to do. I think that's going to be a pacifier move. I think it's going to be a move like so for instance, what does G-Man for life want right now?
I want a point guard for you that can play consistent minutes, that can see the floor. I mean, at one point, I wanted it all at the point guard position. I wanted that floor general to come out and be able to play make, be able to orchestrate the offense, take the ball out of Randall's hands so he's not forced to be a playmaker. He can go get in his spot and play power forward type basketball and not have to be a point forward. I wanted that Chris Paul type person, right? But that's a generational type player. That's a generational type talent, and they don't just fall off trees.
No,
especially that somebody just willing to give up for, I guess the okie doke move, because at this point, I believe, whatever we're offering is going to turn out to be that. So if in a perfect world, get me a big guard that can come out and give me basic. All I want right now, Freezy, is basic point guard play. That's it. Basic point guard play. I ain't gonna ask for too much. Let's start there, and then we can build from there. But I really, 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 really need a point guard, because watching Burks and Quickly at the point guard position as Kimber just flaps around on the floor like a fish out of water, it's hard to watch the night in and night out, bro.
Right. So here is how the front office will satisfy you with that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to give up 2 second-round picks to the Toronto Raptors for Goran Dragic. That's your pacifying move. Because they can't make a major move They can't make a major move, but they can at least get you a good veteran that's gonna be solid every night. 12 points, 4 assists, decent defense, and show up in big games. That's what you're gonna get from Goran Dragic, and I think that may be the move. Book it. Uncle Freezy has predicted that the Knicks are gonna trade for Goran Dragic.
And again, based on what I just asked for, it's better.
That's it. Goran Dragic is what you just asked for. A veteran that's rock steady, right?
Yep.
You're only expected to keep him for 30 plus games. And then if he gets you to the playoffs and you get first round, second round, that means you won the trade.
Agree.
Right. Right. And then you don't have to keep him long term. Right. And then you could probably clear up a glut at other positions so that other young kids can play.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Because if the deal is if it's Burks and Kemba for Dragic,
oh yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah,
I'm doing that.
You take 2 dudes out of the rotation, and now you can play one more of the kids.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I ain't blinking twice at that. I'm definitely doing that. If that's who it's got to be, because again, that improves at that position based on what we're going through right now. And I'm all about improvement.
Right. Chat, what do y'all think? So D-Nice said that's a terrible move. Of course it's a terrible move. Hey, salute y'all. I see y'all. We see y'all in the chat. Salute. We see y'all. What are y'all trade suggestions? Do you think the Knicks are gonna just do a pacifier move? Or is something major on the horizon?
I'm gonna stand pat saying they're not doing nothing. Nothing. They're gonna sit back and watch all this madness go by. It's like when you were a kid and you tried to run out and hit the avenue before the parade came, get you a good seat so you can watch the floats go by. Yeah. That's where we're gonna be at. Watching the floats go by.
Yeah.
Just watching them.
I remember, I don't know if you know this or not, G-Man, but I spent a small amount of my time living in a place called Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Ooh, and they used to have a Piggly Wiggly. Right. Right. They used to have, it used to be dark in there. That place used to be. I was like, why is the grocery store so dark? You know what I'm saying? And I used to, as a matter of fact, I put an application in there for a job one time, but I wound up getting hired by a restaurant called the Carlton House. You remember the Carlton House?
I remember yes.
Yeah, I used to work there and wash dishes.
What?
Yes.
That was Kitty Corner from Sears.
Yeah, and the hotel. Remember the hotel across the street? Yeah. So, but anyway. But when the parades would come, we would try to get on the Ave and sit, and so that way when they threw candy, we could be out there early getting the candy from the floats and all that stuff. I don't know if you know about that small town type stuff, bro. But
I may know something about getting out there on Main Street and posting up to make sure you first of all you can see, and then second of all you get whatever niceties that the parade participants chose to share with the little kids as they ran around.
Yeah,
I remember that for sure.
Yeah, man. Me and my homeboy used to ride around in a brown 240 ZX. You remember those Nissan?
Stop playing.
Yeah.
Stop playing. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. By the time that you were doing that, I believe we were probably around the same time frame. I used to drive a mustard brown, and this is gonna blow you away when I tell you what I'm about to tell you. A mustard brown, and people gonna have to go Google this. Datsun B210.
Oh yeah.
Mustard brown Datsun B210 with some mag rims on it, bro. You can tell.
Right, it was a stick too, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah, because I remember there was a hill. There used to be hills in Rocky Mount where we used to go. The hills used to be like L-shaped. You go down and you go around to stop the stop sign.
Yeah.
And when you're a new stick driver like myself, and you can just hear me trying to get it again.
And look, when that happened, it was always in front of somebody standing outside and then looking at you like, can you not drive?
Right. It always be girls from the high school. It always be girls from the high school. They like, ew.
Yeah.
Until they need a ride. Need a ride.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
man.
Sure. I definitely remember that, bro.
Yeah, man. So I want to get back to the Knicks trivia question just real quick so that we can add the answer to it. Okay. So the Knicks trivia question is, who was the New York Knicks first round draft pick in 1992? My guess was Charlie Ward. Mm-hmm. And G-Man for Life's guess was Hubert Davis, right?
Hubert Davis, yep.
Okay. Your guess was Hubert Davis. And the correct answer is Hubert Davis. So, G-Man, you're absolutely correct.
Them Tar Heels never let me down, bro. Them Tar Heels never let me down.
All right, and so when we do the trivia question, we also like to look at the periphery, like what was going on then. Yep. So here's the thing. I want to mention a few people that were in that draft, right? The number one pick of the 1992 draft was Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow.
The number two pick was Alonzo Mourning. Right?
Big man. Yep.
The Knicks selected Hubert Davis at 20. Right? But picks after that draft, selections after the Knicks pick include Lee Mayberry at 23, Latrell Sprewell at 24.
Wow.
PJ Brown in the second round. And that's about it. That's about it. In terms of famous guys. Popeye Jones.
Oh, that Popeye.
Yeah, his son wound up being the number one pick in the hockey draft. Popeye Jones.
Wow, that I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So the Knicks passed on Latrell Sprewell to select Allen Houston. To select Hubert Davis.
Hubert Davis. Yep.
Does this sound familiar?
Yes.
The Knicks swinging and missing on a draft pick.
It does.
Only to have the guys behind him be great.
Crushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It sounds like we still got some of that going on today.
Sounds just like that.
Just saying. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
All right. You ready to get into these? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was going to say, do you think, just based on that, because we can go back, you just went back 30 years, right?
Right.
And the same thing that was happening 30 years ago is still happening today.
Right.
But the same people are not in place. So do you think that we're just cursed and not being able to draft well, regardless of who is in these positions? Because obviously we ain't got it right. The last time that we actually had a draft pick that really panned out the way that we saw it, that we in our mind saw it going, was Ewing.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
We ain't done nothing before that or after that.
Right.
So I don't know, friend.
That's an interesting take.
I don't know.
That's probably something we should address on Old School Knicks. Why we always miss out on draft picks.
That's a Yep. That's a good one. Because it's got to be something surrounding, and you just brought up a very good point that people would kind of gloss over a little bit, which is what is going on during the time that the Knicks are picking these players. Right. What is surrounding the players that are in the draft? What kind of off-the-court issues they got that they're concerned about that they are kind of shying away from the Latrell Sprewell, right? And you go with a safe pick of someone that came from a good school that had no disciplinary problems and that's supposed to be safe for you
Right.
to bring in, but didn't pan out.
Right.
So we have to pay attention to, what's going on surrounding these players as well for them to go out and make these picks.
Okay. I think it's because you have to have a sense of awareness.
Yep.
A heightened sense of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I don't think they have that. I think they have over the years we had a sense of not awareness, but a sense of people pleasing.
Okay, I could go with that,
so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to fixing what's on the court, you just make the popular pick, something that you think will give you some shine. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And so I think we did that a lot over the years, and it's led to us not getting
Nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say nothing, but we haven't been able to fill the void of what we act. And do you think that a part of that thought process going in, and there's a whole bunch of hyperbole going on because we ain't in these people's heads. We're not in the war room sitting at the table discussing, the mythology around who we're going to pick.
right.
But do you think that a part of that could be going out and swinging for the fence too often instead of going out and getting a player that you could potentially prop up next to a person that you want to kind of build around? You're going out and you're looking for that star. You're looking for the next Michael Jordan. You're looking for the next Kobe Bryant, the next Shaquille O'Neal, and you're just not going to find it.
And you're just not going to find it.
You're not going to find them. Those guys they don't just fall off the trees or everybody would have one.
Right.
And the people that picked these guys, when they were drafted, they were not the players that they turned out to be. So someone at some point had to take a gamble and say, okay, I'm going to put my trust that this dude right here, this young kid, fresh out of high school, is going to turn into something. I'm willing to stake my reputation that this young guy right here is about to turn into something.
Right.
And I don't think that the Knicks have that type of personnel in the front office. I think they're more enamored with self-preservation than going out and taking a chance on an 18-year-old kid straight out of high school and then putting the time in to develop said player. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. There and just to further to that point, man, I think sometimes the state, the mental makeup of a organization helps determine what type of draft pick what they want to do with their draft pick. And I know people are like, mental mind state. What do you mean, Uncle Freezy? What I mean is this. I think sometimes your franchise may be in a mental mind state of, regardless what we do, we want to be tough. We want to come out and play tough, hard-nosed basketball.
Right.
And so the entire organization gets in that mindset. And so they draft a tough, hard-nosed player.
Right.
And then you fire the coach, and he brings in finesse offense. And now you have a tough, hard-nosed player trying to play in a finesse offense.
True.
And it's a fish out of water.
That's a fact.
So we saw that with the draft pick with Frank Ntilikina, where you want to draft a guy that was multi-dimensional, moldable, that you felt like could get you by with a C+ across the board on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not great at one thing, but passable at everything. That way you won't ever have to take him off the floor.
Right.
Because he could do everything. He could play.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. That's not always good.
No. No. You know the old saying, you could be good at a whole bunch of things, or you could choose to be great at one thing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I feel you about that. All right. So you ready for your slam dunk predictions for next week?
Oh boy. Let me look at this schedule, man. But no,
All
I'm
right.
schedule. Yeah, go ahead, because I already know where I'm going with my slam dunk prediction. Look at G-Man rising up, skywalking. That's what I do right there. That's what I do.
So your slam dunk of the week. I'll go first.
Okay.
Give you some time to think about what your slam dunk of the week is. Right?
Okay.
All right. So my slam dunk of the week is the Knicks are not going to do anything major. The major move at the trade deadline is nothing.
Okay.
That's my slam dunk of the week. The slam dunk of the week is the Knicks won't make a major move because they don't have a clear direction. Right? They want to win. They want to try to sneak in the play-in, and continue their playoff streak. At the same time, they want to play the kids, but you can't play the kids and risk missing the playoffs.
Right.
So they don't have a clear direction. So they won't make a major move.
Okay.
Right? All right. What do you say about that?
I agree. I agree. Because there's nothing about what I've seen from this organization that tells me that they're even remotely interested in going out and making a move. They might, dip their toe in the water to test the current, to test the temperature of the water, but they're not really actually going out to do nothing. They're not. I agree with you 100% on that. I believe that's a safe slam dunk. I don't even think you get fouled going to the basket with that one right there.
Right.
For sure.
All right. So what about G-Man's slam dunk of the week?
So mine is a little bit more opinionated.
Okay.
My slam dunk of the week is during this West Coast swing, Cam Reddish is going to find his way into this rotation. And I'm not just talking about these minuscule, put him in 2 minutes left in the third or 1 minute left before half. He's going to get some legit burn. And this is the thing right here. This is the coup de grace. The person that he's going to be on the second unit. He's coming off the bench. But the spot that he's going to take is whatever position that Alec Burks was filling in that second unit, because I believe that Alec Burks is going to be spending more time at the point guard position. So I believe Cam Reddish, my slam dunk for next week is this: Cam Reddish begins to get burned in this rotation.
That is interesting, G-Man. That is very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now that we have the formatted stuff out of the way, are you ready just to get into just a basketball conversation?
Well, we can do that too, Freezy. You know how we do.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this. I just want to set things up for you, right? How do you feel like, if you were Leon Rose, how do you feel like you could fix this mess that's going on in New York?
We need some personnel changes, Freezy. Just to be frank and be honest. The people that we have in positions right now, we're talking about, even to some degree, Leon Rose, right? Maybe he needs to get that dude. I'm going to paint a picture for you real quick. How many successful company commanders have you ever seen in the military that did not have a dynamic first sergeant to listen to? Zero. I'm going to tell you right now. Well, I take that back. There may have been one someplace out there in the forest, but 9 times out of 10, if a company commander is successful in a command, he trusts the knowledge and skill set of his first sergeant, because the first sergeant is not going to let you go out there and do something stupid or that you just don't listen. Leon Rose don't have that. So what he's going off of, he is taking the skill set. You talked about this morning on the morning drive. He's taking the skill set that he had as an agent, and he's trying to manifest that into president of basketball operations and think that's going to work. No, brother. That is not how we do things.
That's not how things work.
That right there is one thing. So if he has that mindset, in my mind, that's the mindset he uses to hire people in these positions that are critical to basketball operations. Wrong people, wrong thought process, which you're getting the wrong advice back. So I need feedback for you to, for me to be able to make some rather important decisions. But if you don't have the basketball acumen to be able to give me that, then I don't really need you. And it was a mistake for me to hire you and put you in that position.
Okay.
So if we don't see personnel changes, and I'm not talking about players at this point, I'm talking about you got to have personnel changes in the front office for people that are professional at doing this thing about running basketball organizations. Again, I'm not saying you can go out and get, to your point, a Jerry West or somebody like that and bring them in here. But if you are the president of basketball operations, you got to go out and get the smartest person that's available to come in that fits your mantra of how you want to build this team. I.e., you have to be able to, at some point in time, sit down and create a direction, a plan based on that direction, and follow it through. That's the only way I see it.
Right, and so outlying factors that go into that are things such as understanding the market in which you operate.
Yep.
Right, understanding that the New York Knicks fan base is not one that is patient.
No. No.
Also understand that this organization has made a bunch of missteps.
A bunch.
A whole bunch. And understand also that you may play in the most competitive division when you consider the Toronto Raptors have won a championship.
Right.
When you consider that you're also in a division with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yep.
The Boston Celtics.
The Celtics, yep.
And so it puts you in Brooklyn.
Yep.
So automatically the goal should be, how can I win my division, as opposed to how can I win a championship? Because your schedule is stacked. Unlike, so say, give you an example. The Memphis Grizzlies have a lot of wins, right? But are they in a division that has teams similar to Brooklyn, Boston, Toronto, Philadelphia?
Not comparatively, no. They're not.
Right. And it's the same thing with if you're a Lakers fan, right? If you're a Lakers fan, you're in a division with the Clippers, who recently have been prominent and dominant. The Golden State Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I believe the Phoenix Suns also. I may be wrong, but anyway, the point that I'm getting at is you have to understand where you are as an organization in order to make the right decisions.
I agree.
Because off go, before you even tip the ball, before you pick out your cute jerseys and your cute floor paint and all this stuff, what you have to understand is what your schedule is going to look like.
Yes.
You have to play Brooklyn a lot, Philly a lot, Boston a lot, Toronto a lot.
Right.
And so what does that do to you as an organization? Like, what's your plan of attack for that?
It's interesting that you bring that question up, I know what G-Man would do. G-Man would have a game plan for Boston separate than the game plan that I would have or execute against a Brooklyn. Separate from the game plan that I would have to execute against a Philadelphia. Because these teams are all great at different things. And they all pose a different threat as far as us having a chance to actually come out of this thing with the W, right? So I can't go in as an organization saying we're gonna run the same game plan against all three of these teams.
Right.
If you do, you're subject to be a failure, number one, and that it kind of looks like what we have been doing to this point. But I mean, it's not a surprise the date that we have to play Brooklyn. You get the schedule way in advance.
Yeah, you get the schedule way in advance, and you know they're in your division before the schedule come out.
Yes. So
right.
how is it that I'm going to try out the same starting lineup, barring injuries and barring anything else that keeps people off the court, everybody being available? I'm trotting out the same starting lineup using the same game plan in all three of these games that you just named. Against all three of these opponents. And expect to be successful.
And expect to have a different result.
Come on, man. Come on. Stop.
So it all goes into team building.
Yes, it does.
Because this division is not going to change over the next 10 seasons.
If anything,
it's going to be the same 10 teams, the same 5 teams in our division.
Yes.
Right.
The personnel might change, but them teams are going to be there. And these guys are not sitting around resting on their laurels, waiting for something to drop in their lap to make them a contender. They're actually going out doing stuff.
Yo, look who's in the chat. Julian Blum.
Julian Blum.
I heard your joints. They fire. Yo, check out Julian Blum YouTube page, man. He got some beats on there that's fire.
No doubt.
Julian Blum. I subscribed. I don't know if you saw it, but I subscribed to your channel.
I'm about to go in and do it right now.
Yeah, he sent a beat over. And so G-Man, I'm working on a Blorange Tears soundtrack. Maybe we can kick out something by the end of the year.
Okay.
Maybe something we can kick out something by the end of the year.
That's what's up.
And so another side project. And so I'm not recruiting for content just yet because I want to pick a direction first.
Right. Look, look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Knicks fans of all ages, this is how it's done. Pick a direction, develop a plan, and then you go execute that plan as validly as possible to make it happen.
Right.
That's what you got to do.
Right.
For sure.
No doubt.
And that is not by any stretch of the imagination what you have seen from the New York Knicks, brother.
Right. All right. So G-Man, I'm gonna have to wrap right here just because I got to do some prep work for the guys that's coming up after you.
I got you.
Knicks freestyle.
Salute to the Ghetto Intellect and Free Keep Knicks Freestyle. Make sure you tune in to that show. You know how those guys.
Hey, you know what? We should just hang out. You got some time?
Yeah, I got time, bro.
All right, so they come on. They come on at 8. Let's jump on with them, and stir the pot and throw grenades and get out the way.
Oh, I like that phrase.
Yeah. Listen. So Knicks freestyle will be on at 8 p.m. Right? We talked about that yesterday because we had a game yesterday, and they wasn't able to get on.
Right.
But also Knicks after party will be on at 11.
It's a full spread tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna have to send you some no-dos or something.
Yeah, some Red Bull, something.
Something.
Yeah, something.
For sure. Hey,
yeah,
I definitely appreciate your time and your energy, brother. I know this ain't easy. And you got things going on outside of this YouTube life. And I just want you to know that your efforts don't go unnoticed. There will be no G-Man for life, no pod couple without Uncle Freezy.
And we're gonna do better, y'all. We're gonna do better. Now that we have a template that we want to go by, we're gonna groove this template. We're gonna groove this template and make it better and better and better. It's one of those things that we'll probably work on the weekends when there's nothing meaty going on during the daytime, and then that way we can help these shows be better. But we're gonna sign off right here. Thank you everybody for coming through, hanging out. G-Man, you got something you want to throw out to the fans before we go?
So absolutely. Again, as always, Knicks fans, I appreciate you coming through. To Freaky's point, continue to rock with us, and you will not be disappointed. I appreciate, and so does Cornerstone Kev. We appreciate you stopping through, sharing your thoughts, and being a part of the show. Because without you, there's no us. You know what I'm saying? So we do this thing so we collectively, as Knicks fans, have something to discuss and can spark up a conversation. So please continue to support the channel, continue to support Blorange Tears, and all these other great content creators that are out here doing this thing for the Knicks fans.
Amen. And we will see y'all in a few minutes.